To me, a game changer is a person that uses his or her passion to promote the greater good. I think when I hear those two words, that an individual, regardless of their discipline, says, what can I do to make a difference in my career, in my life, in my passion, and whatever it is I think I can change the world with. A game changer takes those opportunities and makes the best of them. I say, number one, follow your passion, because if you're passionate about something, a cause or a mission or a purpose or a vocation, you will do all that it takes to be your best. And when things look a little rough, you won't run away from it. So number one, follow your passion. And number two, if you remember the works and the inputs of your ancestors, you will not be so quick to retreat when things get tough. You've got to know and keep in mind that that journey is all worth it when those rewards at the end, they're so sweet. I think you'll appreciate it more the tougher it gets, and when you can say, yes, I did it, and I did it in spite of what they all said or what I experienced. So again, if you're passionate and committed and have a focus on what you know is right and what can help your communities or yourself or your family, then I say well done. I paired that up because I am quick to mention my parents because they both come from very different experiences, but they did what I mentioned earlier. They used the best in terms of their influences, in terms of the things that they were taught to be the best they could be. My mother came from an experience that included her mother not being able, because of the laws of the land, not being able to go beyond junior high school. But that mother worked in houses. Her father worked in the fields in order to provide for them to seek a higher education when a lot of their neighbors couldn't afford to do so. They sacrificed, and their children were successful. And as a result, we were more successful. On the paternal side, the same type of environment with the opposite. My grandfather had the same type of experiences, but his wife had a college level experience. But they paired. They didn't allow whatever differences from an educational perspective to divide them. They used the best talents between the two to raise three gentlemen who helped raise me to be the best that I could be. So again, using those experiences, it doesn't all at the time come in terms of a piece of paper from a diploma standpoint, but it does come from those principles that are instilled in you, and you make the best you can of those. I'd say we have to look at all levels or all sides of the equation. We cannot just pick one or two things and think it's going to be okay. We look at the abysmal graduation in terms of African American males. We cannot be satisfied with that. We need to work in the schools, work through the homes, work in the communities to say, what can I do to make a difference? When we have issues in terms of college, we talk about STEM and the numbers that are single digit in terms of graduation rates, in terms of African Americans and Latinos as it relates to STEM. What are the barriers? We need to concentrate on that. Is it a lack of support? Is it a lack of courage? Is it saying that I can't do? We need to say what they are and to bring people in these students' lives in order to provide them the support they need. I came across a quote by Mae Jemison, an astronaut, and one of the things that she said, as accomplished as she is, she said in college, when she walked into the classroom, those professors were among the biggest discouragers. The discouragers come in all forms. They come in forms in which we would not expect them to. So we need to have people placed in individuals' lives all across, regardless of their level of education, regardless where they could be or are in their profession. We need to have those support systems, those mentors, those people giving us those hugs that we need at those key times to keep us moving. isolation can be the biggest deterrent when we talk about pace setters and we talk about the opportunities that we could have in professions where you don't see a lot of people of color. When that is the case, we've got to have people along the way, even if they're not in our vocations, supporting us and propping us up when we need it. I had a mentor in Charleston, South Carolina, an amazing woman named Marjorie Amos Frazier, who just completed high school but accomplished so much. She was the first African American on our county council. She was the first African American to serve on the Public Service Commission of South Carolina. And I was the second African American female to serve on that same commission. She told me that I could. She encouraged me to pursue this field, which I had no real solid background. And she said, it will be a piece of cake compared to what you did on your own with your weekly newspaper. People like that who encourage you, who believe in you when you don't quite believe in yourself, those persons are game changers.